see. So they still end up giving me and my co-defendant, capital murder cases. And then the crazy part about it was when they figured out that I wasn't the shooter because I was booked as the shooter, they eventually, like 14 days later, went and got my co-defendant and said, okay, you the one that killed him. So without doing no fingerprints, no ballistic report or anything, they didn't do nothing then on him and just said, okay, you the shooter and this is the accomplice. So both of y'all got capital murder cases.
So what did they have to go on? Just that white lady being like, all right, he's the shooter?
Yeah,
that's all they
had. But and the crazy part about it, what really made the cop tell me that he didn't think I did it, because as soon as she saw me, they put me in a regular lineup, in a photographic lineup. She could not pick me out. Damn. And then she told the cops, and the cops like, well, you just saw this guy 10 minutes ago, and you can't pick him out. She said she was scared. So the cops say, no, you can't be scared. He say, for one, you behind locked doors and this guy's locked up.
Yeah.
For two, you got 15 police officers around you. What in the world would you be scared of? And she like, and he told her right there, no, you lying. I think you lying. That's when he told me to just have him to testify on my behalf. So my attorney came to see me one time while I was in jail. One time, that's it. And I stayed in jail like 9 months before I went to trial.
Dang.
And when I went to trial, my capital murder case lasted like 5 hours. I was found guilty in like 6 hours.
That's like really quick.
Yeah, it's quick. But no, my co-defendant, his trial lasted an hour and a half, and they found him guilty in 3 minutes.
That doesn't even. Yeah, possible.
But that's the kind of system Dallas County was running back then.
Yeah.
You said Dallas County?
Yeah.
Is there like a estimated time on how much they spent on other cases? Have anybody dived into that yet and figured that out?
No, basically no, but we know it was unjust for a capital murder trial to last 4 hours, you know what I mean? Usually a capital murder trial lasts months, you know what I mean? Months, and deliberation usually lasts days or weeks at a time, because I've been a part of that, on the outside, see you working on cases and seeing things of this nature, so it surprised all of us, that, this capital murder trial lasted this small amount of time, and deliberation didn't last, that long at all. Yeah, it surprised a lot of people.
Okay.
So yeah, after that, I went to trial. I had you seen the film. I had a white jury, all white jury, white judge, white prosecutor, white lawyer, and I always make the statement of the only thing of color in that courtroom was me and the furniture. That's the only thing that had color, and when I sit down in that church and seen the odds stacked against me, I already knew I was going to get found guilty.
Yeah.
It was just about, are they going to give me the death penalty, or are they going to give me a capital life sentence, which I would have to do 40 years, day for day, before I was eligible for parole. So, the judge asked me, like, why shouldn't we seek the death penalty? And the only thing I could come up with was, how could you kill an innocent man? And she looked at me for a second. She said, you just saved your own life today. We're not going for the death penalty, but we are going to give you a capital life sentence if found guilty. And she made it clear, you will be found guilty. And I'm like, how am I going to be found guilty of something I didn't do?
That's really fucked up in itself, the fact that she was already convinced that you're guilty.
Yeah, because every piece of evidence that we had to free us, she threw it out. All of us here say, dude, I had a fucking captain over the police force come to my trial and hold up the pictures of the guys that actually committed the crime. She said it was inadmissible because it was hearsay. But you convicted me on hearsay because it's just this lady word against mine, because you don't have a murder weapon, you don't have a positive ID, you don't have fingerprints, you don't have nothing but this lady word against mine, and you seeing a police captain over your police force is telling you I didn't do it, that they know the guys that did it, but they still didn't go after these guys not one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So you have like these 9 months of being in jail before your trial where you just don't even know.
No, I don't know, because I'm young. I've never been in this situation before, so I'm like, once I got to jail, it's like, it's survival mode. You know what I mean? I'm at the time, dude, I'm like 130 pounds. I'm a real skinny guy.
Yeah.
But I was raised in the hood where all we did was fight. So I wasn't worried about protecting myself in jail. But it was just the point I was there for something I didn't do, and I know I didn't do it. And you see all these people lying on you, and you see it. You see how this is playing out. You know what I mean? It's playing out to where you're gonna get found guilty. And I even thought that when I was that 9 months I was waiting. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get found guilty.
I'm like, no evidence.
No evidence. And then the crazy part about it, the lady had changed the statement so many times before I went to trial. She said, well, I was the shooter. Then I wasn't the shooter. Then me and my co-defendant took times holding a gun, like we passing a gun like it's a football or a basketball. She said we took times holding a gun on him. Say he'll hold it 1 minute, then he'll pass it to the guy and he'll put it on him. Like hot potato. Yeah. And her statements changed every time my trial was coming up. She changed her statement to something else, to something else, to something else, to something else. And then she was already on like heavy medication, high blood pressure medicine, anxiety medicine, psych medicine. She was so medicated when they went and asked her a question. But my whole thing, I told them this, y'all should have just waited until she calmed down.
Yeah.
She hysterical.
Yeah.
Anybody would if they just saw their loved ones, killed in front of their eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, give her a day, some true days to calm down and get her bearings together while she ain't so medicated, and then ask her those questions again.
Yeah.
But, cops seem to have that tunnel vision syndrome.
Yeah.
Once they got the person that they feel is the person, they're not going to look anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to ask about your time, in prison, but does that lady, the victim, know that you didn't do it now?
Yeah, she was at my exoneration the day I got exonerated, and it was crazy because she was surrounded probably about 20 cops. Like the same people that arrested me was all of them was at my exoneration. And it's something I told her when I was leaving the court building, because I walked up to her. I wanted her to look me in my face like, look, lady, you took 13 years of my life away. You know what I mean? And for no reason.
Yeah.
And you can know she was feeling bad because she could not look me in my eyes. Her head stayed down the whole time. And I told her, I say, look, it's one thing about, getting it right, but it's a whole totally different thing when you get it wrong. Mm-hmm. I said, what you should do is use your own judgment. Don't let nobody sway you into thinking that something that's had happened, that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
If you're not 100% sure that this guy actually committed this crime, don't say he did. Mm-hmm. Because you sent innocent people to prison. And I'm like, you got to use your own mind next time you ever be put in this position again. And it may happen and it may not.
Yeah.
Use your own judgment. Don't let nobody sway you to saying this is the guy that did it, and you don't even know if he really did it or not.
Question. And at that point in time, where were the police at this point?
When I was talking to him, they were standing right behind him.
How many? Like she was leading a brigade type?
Yeah. Yeah, like
even known as an innocent man.
Yeah.
Even known as an innocent man.
Yeah. They had a certain look about themselves, like
you still not innocent.
I'm still not innocent because it was so hard because I had no DNA in my case. Mine was the first non-DNA case in Dallas County's history. So they was like, how can we prove that you didn't commit this crime? So the guy that confessed to it was like, they was like, somebody had to tell us something about this case that only somebody would know that was at this scene of the crime. And the guy that confessed gave him that type of information that only somebody knew that was at that scene of the crime. That's really how it all really, took part about non-DNA cases. Got to have a lot of detail. If you don't have the detail, then you're going to stay in prison for the rest of your life. Every innocent project I wrote to, for one, said we don't do non-DNA cases. For two, it's a 1,000,000 chance that anybody going to come back and confess to capital murder, because it's no statute on murder. You can get retried on it, and you can get the death penalty. So they were like, you got a 1 in a million chance to get out of prison. Simple as that. Yeah. So the odds were stacked so high against me because it kind of really ran me hard the first time because I asked for a polygraph test and they said no. we're not gonna give you one because it's inadmissible. But I said, well, what if I take one and pass, then what? You know, you have some doubt that this guy could be telling the truth. You know what I mean? And even my own attorney was like, nah, we're not gonna give you one. So right then I'm like, I need a new attorney because it's like you don't believe me from the start. You know what I mean? You already feel like you represent the client that's guilty. And if you look at my track record, you know, I ain't been in trouble like this before, you know what I mean? So you know, I'm not the type of guy to carry a gun or kill people or even rob people. That's just what I did.
So you got like, you like all of a sudden you're, you know, there with your girl, like you got like these young kids and your life just gets shaken up out of the blue.
Man, I left home that night and didn't come back home until 13 years later.
Like what is going through your head when you're doing those 13 years, man? Like you're probably surrounded by some dudes that did some crazy
man, you know, I was on it's called Cofield Unit and it's in East Texas. It's probably like an hour and 45 minutes away from Dallas. And dude, you know, it's like guys with 2 life sentences, 3 life sentences, 190 years, 275 years. These are the individuals that I'm around, and I'm innocent. So I'm like, man, what am I even doing here? You know what I mean? And being a small guy, going to prison, you know, those are the guys that get looked at like, you know, you gonna either have to get down or you know what the situation is. So, you know, you already feel like, you know, I've never been intimidated by a man's size, but when you go to prison, you hear all of these, you know, stories about guys going to fight better in prison, guys stab you more in prison. So all the time, you know, you like looking, you know, around your shoulder and behind your back, like, hey, I hope nobody come back and stick me, because prison it has the stigmatization that this is how prison operates. Then I'm on a 5,000 man unit. You know, this is the biggest unit in the prison system. So I'm dealing with 5,000 different personalities a day. And at a point in time, it was scary because I'm like, dude, I gotta protect myself by any means necessary because I ain't no punk. I'm not gonna be handled like that. So I gotta do what I gotta do. So the first thing I, you know, asked for was, I need a weapon. You know what I mean? Because I don't know the rules in the lands of prison. You know what I mean? So once I know the rules in the land of prison, then I feel more comfortable. But me being here about a week or two, I'm still brand new. They still calling me a new boo. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what am I gonna do to prove myself? Like, look, you know, you ain't gonna deal with me on that level. So, like my 3rd week in jail in prison is when I had my first fight. And, you know, it was like a disrespect thing about who goes to commissary first. It's like commissary is where you go get all your, you know, your toiletries, your food, or whatever the case may be. And it's a certain, you know, it's a certain pattern that you go through. It's like we all have commissary bags where we put all our food in. And you line them on the bench according to like how you going to commissary. So I was like 3rd in line. So a big guy that was like way at the back, you know, say, I'm gonna move your bag back with mine and I'm gonna put my bag where your bag was. And I'm like, nah, this is not gonna happen. And he was like, well, it's gonna happen or you gotta fight for it. And I'm like, shit, we gonna have to fight for this because you're not gonna move my bag. And it was crazy because it's good for people not to expect unexpected. So he didn't expect that I knew how to fight because I was so small. And the ultimate of surprise, you know what I mean? Like when we, you know, squared up and he said, you know, I kind of sensed it when I looked in his face. He was like, this dude got a nice stand. You know, dude, I was raised fighting. I got 7 older brothers. You know, they said we got a big family. I got 7 older brothers, and I'm the baby. So I'm like, dude, I done been taught by all of these guys, and my 4 older brothers have been in prison before a couple of times. So I'm like, dude, fighting is a part of my, you know, breed. So, you know, we gonna have to do this. So once we fought, and he like, I tripped out. I picked on the wrong guy. You know what I mean? This guy know what he doing. And then like from where the prison I was housed at, I had a lot of friends there. You know, half of my neighborhood was in prison, dude. So I knew majority of the guys from my neighborhood was Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
So in Oak Cliff, it's a big clique in prison.
Yeah.
So once a person found out, like, dude, this the dude from Oak Cliff named Scott that's on the C dorm, he just beat up, Big Boogie.
Yeah.
And they like, he beat up Big Boogie, and they was like a real known, because he was a Crip, he was a gang member. And like, he beat shit out of Big Boogie, man, And once them guys from Oak Cliff heard about it, they came over there, and then a lot of them recognized me, like, man, that's Lil Scott.
Yeah.
And they was like, man, no, it don't happen like that. He's from Oak Cliff, and if y'all deal with situations like that, then we gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
So after that, I took care of that, it was like, okay, I'm okay from now on, but every now and then you will get tried. They don't care where you from or who you know, that's just how it is in prison.
That's crazy.
Yeah, having to face that because I've been in quite a few of riots, and me having a capital murder case and being in riots, you done seen people lose their life. And if they feel like I was one of the guys that caused this guy to lose his life, I automatically go to death row because I got a capital murder case.
Yeah.
So now I'm surrounded by all of these guys with all of this time that's known killers, where I kind of got to like walk on eggshell because what if I say this guy trying to kill me and I end up killing him? No matter what, I go to death row. So I'm like, damn, I'm faced with this dilemma because after the Texas 7 escape, they reclassified the whole prison unit system. And everybody with 50 years and above had to be housed together. It's like, oh, they over there 50 years and above, just let them stay over there and they can kill up each other. It don't matter. But I got a capital life sentence for something I didn't do, so that's put me at odd ends with people.
Yeah.
So if the riot break out, just as a riot with black and whites, and I don't get down with the blacks, then once that riot is over, they don't handle me. So it's a must that I got to get out there with them. You know what I mean? But all in the back of my mind, can't kill nobody. You're going to death row.
Yeah.
So you got to be real leery about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta like maintain that.
Maintain, like, okay, I can't use a weapon because if somebody comes at me with a weapon, it's do or die.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? It's like it was mind-boggling.